Good morning, my dear students. I am sure most of you would like to buy and wear branded clothes from the top brand shops. At times, we are led to such situations by friends who in turn think that their impressive identity will depend upon the advertised companies. Knowingly or unknowingly, we do not care about how much we spend or on what we spend. However, it is important to become aware of the dangers of consumerism. Therefore, today we are going to discuss the topic danger of consumerism and the joy of simplicity. In the first part, let us discuss about the dangers of consumerism. We are very much familiar with the phrase cogito ergo sum, which means I think, therefore I exist. It is a famous statement by the philosopher René Descartes, which gives identity for the existence of man. But today, our existential identity is slowly changing to I shop, therefore I am. Buying and possessing things now seem to define our status and identity in society. It teaches us that the more we spend and the more we buy luxury goods, the better off we are than others. Hence, superfluous spending and unnecessary accumulation of things which we do not really need has become customary in society. Recent studies show that advertisements are specifically created and propagated in such a way that the fine line between needs and wants has become much thinner, and consumer is brainwashed into thinking that luxuries are in fact necessities. Today's brand culture tries to mask our true self from us by asking, which iPhone are you? Which celebrity you resemble the most, etc. Scott Cook, one of the directors of eBay and Procter & Gamble, once said, a brand is no longer what we tell the consumer it is, it's the consumers telling each other what it is. Hence, we are in a self-made trance of consumerism where we do not realize who we really are and are forced to buy heavily priced fake identities to live with. Now I give you a small exercise. When you are at home, take a look at your personal belongings and try to prepare a list of the things that you have. You can classify what you have into 3 categories. 1. What you are really using. 2. What you use very rarely or you have used only once. And the 3rd category, the things you own but have never used. Which list is the longest? What can you do to change this pattern? Dear students, I am sure most of you might have heard about the story of the clock thief. Once there lived a man who was obsessed with collecting clocks. He had a limitless number of clocks of different types. Grandfather clocks, cuckoo clocks, alarm clocks, digital clocks, analog clocks, tiny clocks, big clocks, etc. He even had a warehouse to hold his precious collection. Each time he came to the warehouse, he would ensure that there was no one else around. Then he would quickly rush into the place and carefully place his latest acquisition. On each of his visits, he would hear someone whispering to him, Hans has more clocks than you. John has rarer clocks than you. If only you could get another clock, then you would be happy. Though he searched from where the voice came from, he could find nothing. One day, the clock collector came with his latest price, and the moment he entered the house, he saw a thin fellow inside holding an exquisite antique cuckoo clock. Seeing the frightened clock collector, the man said, "Don't worry, it's not stolen. It's my gift to you." The clock collector soon recognized the voice which sounded exactly that of the whisperer. "A thief! A thief!" he cried. He then stopped for a while and asked himself, "But a thief would be removing clocks from my collection, not adding to them." Then he asked, "What sort of thief are you?" To this, the thin fellow replied, "Yes, I am a thief. I have been here each time you have visited your warehouse. But I haven't come to steal your clocks, my friend. I have come to steal your contentment." The clock collector did not realize that the more he is made after more and more exquisite and rare clocks, he is losing his happiness and contentment. Dear friends, people wrongly think that we will get more happiness when we have more possessions. Years ago, a famous psychologist, Viktor Frankl, realized the truth that the ultimate thing that would make us happy is finding the meaning in life. This realization that life has a purpose made him live through the cruel reality of persecution and pain in the Nazi concentration camp. When we come to realize the purpose for which we are created, we would enjoy being ourselves and would realize that the little things we have held so dear were all trivial to the core. Ignorance of this fact, that craze for possession will not give us contentment, is the thief mentioned in the story above. And as he himself mentioned, this thief would always steal our contentment, making us dissatisfied and unhappy in whatever we have and in whatever we do. So dear friends, we come to the second part of our topic, the joy of simplicity. We all are familiar with Socrates, the famous philosopher of all time. Though he was poverty-stricken, he used to stride through the city's central marketplace and shout, "How many things I do not need!" One day, he met a young man on the streets of Athens. "Where can the bread be found?" asked the philosopher. The young man responded politely, "Where he couldn't get from." And again he asked, "And where can the wine be found?" asked Socrates. In the same pleasant manner, the young man told Socrates from where to get wine. "And where can the good and the noble be found?" Socrates asked. To this question, the young man was totally puzzled and was unable to answer. Perhaps our response would be the same. If we were also asked the same questions as that to the young man, what would be our answer? Socrates was so sure that the virtues to lead a meaningful life can neither be found in the marketplace nor can be attained by possessing things. This in turn made him to choose the beauty of simplicity in life and to live with what was only essential. The same principle of opting for simplicity could be seen in the lives of great people, including Mahatma Gandhi. The detachment to wealth even led him to wear the least clothing needed for a man. Following such radical and ascetic options in life would not be possible for most of us. But the good news is that there's always a middle way which could be found between consumerism and minimalism. This demands us to realize the difference between what we need and what we want. A challenging factor would be correcting our distorted visions, where luxuries are being perceived as necessities and striving to stick to what is really essential and important in life. Thus, by eliminating the unnecessary, only the necessary would light up, and our lives can embrace the beauty of simplicity and contentment. Finally, my dear students, I would like to give you some tips to live happy, simple life, avoiding consumerism and extravaganza. Realizing the need of money in our everyday life, we should plan wisely to spend as well as to save money. Being aware of the role of money and its influence on us in every phase and aspect of our life, and subduing it to be an obedient servant would be the best way to overcome the desire to possess more. The following simple steps could be easily practiced and would prove a great help in developing a healthy orientation towards money in life. Number 1. Reduce, reuse and recycle. This could be a good motto to curb the prevailing consumer culture. Today we live in a world where replacement has become the order of the day and repair has been forgotten. This is clearly visible, especially in the accumulation of e-waste around us. Comparing the financial profit of buying a new one to getting an old one repaired, and the interesting schemes and offers provided by the industries to maximize the sale of their products often tempt us to go for new products, making us contribute hugely to a culture of waste. A conscious effort to avoid this use and throw culture would be to take some small initiatives like avoiding rough use, taking good care of your things and using it to its maximum life period. These small steps will help to lessen the negative impacts of consumerism. Step 2. Buy less, choose well. Buddha once said, do not believe in anything simply because you have heard it. Do not believe in anything simply because it is spoken and rumored by many. But after observations and analysis, when you find that everything agrees with reason and is conducive to the good and benefit of one and all, then accept it and live up to it. Asking oneself a simple question, do I need it or do I want it, before buying things, can exercise the power to lower the level of consumerism in our society. Think twice before spending and do not be led by attractive advertisements and peer pressure. And third step, a space for the needy. One of the worst effects of consumerism on people is the insensitivity to the wastage of food. Most restaurants today have come up with a trend to increase the size of the menu from sandwiches to soft drinks, and we often buy too much and have to throw away what we cannot eat. We have become so used to this excessive and daily wastage of food that we turn a blind eye towards the scores of people suffering from hunger and malnutrition. Being sensitive to this fact and giving a thought to and making a space for the poor and needy around us in our spending habits will help build a more balanced society. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Earth provides enough to satisfy every human need, but not every man's greed." I'm sure you heard the story of the ant and chrysalis. The ant, seeing chrysalis, pitied its situation and said, "What a sad fate is yours. While I can run hither and thither at my pleasure, I can ascend the tallest tree. You lie imprisoned here in your shell, with power only to move a joint of your scaly tail." The chrysalis did not say anything in reply. After many days, when the ant passed that way, in the place of the chrysalis, the ant saw a beautiful butterfly with gorgeous wings, beautifully flying in the air. Chrysalis got transformed into a butterfly. If you want to fly high like a butterfly, you should be ready to face some criticism like chrysalis. It requires us to believe deep in our heart that happiness is not an item to be purchased, but a decision to be enjoyed. If you take a strong decision not to succumb to consumerism, but to live a simple life, you will be truly happy and contented. In the class, we shall discuss questions with regard to this topic. Please watch also another video, The Healing Power of Simplicity. The link will be also sent to you. Thank you. Have a nice day and God bless you.